Hello. Hello, may I audible? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are
Yes,
Yes, sir,
audible.
you are audible.
Okay. Okay. So within a few minutes, the inaugurator and the keynote addresser will join very soon. So I request all the participants to mute their mic, and whenever the necessary is there, then only you can unmute your mic and you can talk, or otherwise you can raise your hand. Okay. So within few minutes we will start the session.
माझं तर लॉगिनच होईना किती वेळचं झालं. ICSSR workshop. ऑपरेट करायलेत ना.
I request all the participants to mute your mic.
म्यूट ऑल करो ना.
Who is Samidas? Please mute your mic.
पण नाही अकाउंटच ओपन करेना तसं त्यानं दुपारपासून सकाळपासून नेटवर्क इश्यू दाखवायला डाउनलोड होईल. मॅडम आता खाली गेले.
मग दोन्ही सरांना असं बसायला लावलं एका ठिकाणी. तिथे कसं बोलणार एक मशीन अशी कर की त्या मशीनवर सगळेच बोलले पाहिजे. होय मॅडम.
12 दिवसाचं आहे.
वाटलं तर मी पण देतो, काही प्रॉब्लेम
तुम्ही
मी देऊ का?
केलं नाही ना पण
होय. साऊंड आहे तुमच्याकडं?
इथं आहेत ना साऊंड.
अहो हे ऐकू येतं, तुमचं बोललेलं कुठं ऐकू जाणार आहे त्यांना?
माईक हेड.
मी काय म्हणाला, वेबकॅम दिलं ना तुम्ही डायरेक्ट असं बसून बोलू शकतात,
हा
काही
ना,
गरज
तीच
नाही.
इझिली पडते. मोबाईल असं ठेवा
काय
बघा.
येड्याचा बाजार आहे, शपथ येड्याचा बाजार आहे. काय काम नाही. मी काय करतो, वेबकॅम आणून देतो.
हां हां चालतं.
कोण ज्याला बोलणार आहे त्याला ठेवा.
आज 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 दवणे सर आहेत. प्रत्येक वेळी दररोज वेगवेगळे जण लोक
म्हणजे
आपल्या
कसं
कॉलेजचे.
नाही इथंच बसवायला लावायचं. ज्यांना आहे ना त्याला वेबकॅम ठिकाणी बसवायला लावायचं.
इथं बसवा.
म्हणजे कसं ती ऑकवर्ड वाटते हो, मोबाईलवर बोलणं, हेडफोन घातलं एकदम.
आधीच्या वेळेस चलत होतं, पण आता आहे ना सगळं सोयी. सगळीच बंद ठेवा. लॉग इन झालात का?
नाही मी तर
माझं बी नाही. मी तर सकाळपासून बघायला ट्राय करू, नाही झालं माझं.
नाही सकाळी होणार नाही, आता सकाळी मीटिंग चालू झाली.
अहो डाउनलोड केल्यानंतर त्याला रजिस्टर हे साइन इन करावं लागते ना. साइन इनच ॲक्सेप्ट करे ना.
अरे हो खरं ते कॉलेजचं आहे ना हे टीम्स, ते
कॉलेजचं लागतं का?
पाहिजे नाही ती होते. नाही पण
असं
आता ही बाकीचे आहेत काय
पर्सनलच आहे.
पर्सनलच आहे.
माझं झालं नाही जॉईन मीटिंगमधून बघू काय होतं. can participate.
Hello.
Hello. Doctor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Nikam sir.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon, sir. Uh, uh, we will start the session. So, शिव छत्रपति शिक्षण संस्था श्री शाहू महाविद्यालय Autonomous Latur, Department of English, organizes Western Region Center, Mumbai, Indian Council of Social Sciences, Social Science Research, sponsored national level 12 days capacity building program on advanced research methodology for young aspirants in social sciences and humanities. On the behalf of Rajarshi Shahu Mahavidyalaya Latur and English department, I welcome you all this session. I welcome our patron, Bharavji Patil, Sir, President, Shiv Chhatrapati Shikshan Sanstha Latur, Principal Aniruddha Jadhav, Sir, Secretary, Shiv Chhatrapati Shikshan Sanstha Latur. I also welcome Dr. Mahadev Gavane, Sir, Principal of our college and Chief Organizer of this program. I also welcome Dr. Sadashiv Shinde, Sir, Vice Principal. I will also welcome Dr. Abhijit Yadav, Sir, OHD and ITSC Coordinator. I also welcome Dr. Anuja Jadhav, Course Coordinator and Course Co-Coordinator Sachin Bhandare, Sir. With the kind permission of these all dignitaries and respected persons, I welcome you all. Today we are going to today we are celebrating this 12 days capacity building program. Before that one, I request our principal sir to accept today's today's president for this program. Dr. Mahadev Gavane sir to accept presidential chair of today's program. Then after that, I request our HOD ma'am, Dr. Anuja Jadhav, to introduce today's program. Hello, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible? Hello? Yes. Am I audible to all?
Hello, you are audible, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Honorable Dr. Sudhir Nikam, sir, Chairman, Board of Studies, Mumbai University, Mumbai, and all the participants from all over India and from outside India. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you on 12 days ICSSR sponsored capacity building program on advanced research methodology for young aspirants in social sciences and humanities. On the behalf of my college, Rajarshi, Shahu, Mahavidyalaya, Latur, and on the behalf of the principal, Honorable Dr. Mahadeshi Gawani, who is engaged in other college activity, and it happened very in a short period of time. So he is not able to join us with us, but definitely within this 12 days program, he will join with us and can communicate with all of you. But with my college, on the behalf of my college, I welcome you. It's a 12 days program, and as I said that this program will be very beneficial to all of us. Research methodology is one of the very core topic for all of us who are working in this academic area. Every year and in every subject, this research methodology is changing. And as the student of the subject, as the student of my own faculty, I have to upgrade myself. And not only the upgradation, but I have to give the guidance to the students in this particular subject. And so when ICSSR has sponsored us with this topic, we are very happy, and fortunately we get a response from all over India. I am here happy to say that more than 500 faculty members registered for this program. Maximum registration from Tamil Nadu state, then from Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, even from Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Kashmir, and some of the participants are from outside the India also. So such a huge response, it gives us the inspiration to conduct this program effectively. And I am sure, and I give the assurance to all the participants that this program will be very beneficial to all of us. Today we are again the fortunate to have an inaugurator, Honorable Dr. Sudhir Nikam sir, who is very well-known academician, not only in Maharashtra but in India also. His work in particularly in research is outstanding. I am very thankful to him. In a short period of time, he not only accepted our invitation, but he joined with us today. And he is playing the dual role as an inaugurator and a resource person, keynote address for our first session. And I hope that all of you participants will get a very resourceful knowledge from today's session. So, sir, from the bottom of our heart, we welcome you, and we hope that you also will enjoy this session, because such a huge participation is there. And now, just now, more than 90 participants already joined this session. And this will increase within a few minutes. So I welcome all of you once again, and I assure you once again that this 12 days CBP program will be very effectively run by us, and you will get benefits of that. Thank you one and all.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your kind words and introductory speech of this program. Definitely, ma'am, research is an important step in the process of writing paper. It provides the writer with a clear understanding of what they are writing about, and it gives them an idea of how to best write about their topic. Research is not necessary for all papers, but it can be helpful for writers who need to write about topics that they have never written about before. So research methodology is the specific procedure or technique used to identify, select, process, and analyze information about the topic. So to know such research methodology for the young aspirants, we have arranged this program. Before telling about the resource person and the keynote addresser, as well as the inaugurator of this program, Dr. Sudhir Nikam sir. Now I want to give brief introduction of Sudhir Nikam sir. Actually, his biodata is so long. I want to tell in a very brief. Now, when I got sir's biodata, now 23 pages biodata, I could not understand from where to start. So therefore, so I would like to tell you in brief about Dr. Sudhir Nikam. Now, Dr. Sudhir Nikam sir is a professor and HOD of PG Department of English, BNN College, Bhiwandi, Thane. Now, he was a chairperson, Board of Studies in English, University of Mumbai. He was also the member of Academic Council and RRC. Now, up to now, he was attended 127 PhD vivas. Right now, 5 candidates are working under his supervision. Now, 18 PhD students awarded up to now. Sir has got many awards, like in that one, Literary Baruwa Award, Global Research Excellence Award, Best Teacher Award, Academic Excellence Award, Mahatma Phule National Meritorious Teacher Award, and many more. Now, he is the member of professional bodies also. Now, he participated in many seminars, conferences, and workshops as a resource person. Not only in seminars and conferences, but also he was a resource person in UGC, HRDC refresher courses like FDP. He presented up to now 18 research papers in various national and international conferences. He chaired, session chaired in many seminars and conferences. Now he published 2 books up to now, 3 chapters in books. He wrote 56 research papers. He organized 11 seminars and conferences. He completed 7 professional training programs. He is on various editorial boards, and he is a great research scholar in the Maharashtra and also out of Maharashtra. So I request Dr. Sudhir Nikam sir to inaugurate the program as well as for a keynote address. I request Dr. Nikam sir to give keynote address and introductory speech of this program. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Davne, for such a lucid introduction. With the request of Dr. Davne, I announce.
Yes, sir.
I announce that the 12 days ICSSR sponsored national level capacity building program on advanced research methodology for young aspirants has been inaugurated. So thank you,
sir.
Organizers. So let me thank the patrons of today's event, Dr. Gopal Rao Patil, Dr. Aniruddha Jadhav, and principals of Rajarshi Shahu Mahavidyalaya, Dr. Mahadev Gawane, Head of Department, Dr. Anuja Jadhav Madam, and all my dear friends and colleagues in the Department of English of Rajarshi, Shahu, Mahavidyalaya, Latur. So let me first congratulate the organizers for scheduling such a wonderful event, academic event for the participants across India and abroad. When I was talking with Dr. Davne about the target audience and the number of participants, I came to know that 400 plus participants have already registered for this event. And for this successful venture, let me congratulate all the teachers from the Department of English, because this is not an easy task. Organizing refresher courses, workshops, research methodology workshop, or FDPs, it is a challenging task and it involves a 24-hour involvement in the work, and the involvement of uh, Dr. Anuja Jadhav and her team is reflected in the number of participants in today's event. I have also gone through the schedule prepared by the organizers, in which I could see a number of experts, resource persons who will be discussing, dealing with in different aspects of research methodology, advanced research methodology. Those minute areas are being selected by different resource persons, in which they are going to explore those in a detailed manner. And that is why I think the participants in this 12-day capacity building program are fortunate, because they will be definitely recharged, they will be refreshed, and their skills, capacities, potentialities will be developed at the end of or after completing the said program. So friends, when we talk about research methods in humanities as well as social sciences, in some universities, humanities and social sciences are taken into combination. In some universities, humanity is treated in separate way, and social sciences are considered in separate approach. However, when I'll be talking about these, I'll be including both humanities as well as social sciences. Because if we look at the original branches of knowledge, right from Aristotle and Plato, these branches were not separate. So these may be might have been treated under humanities or philosophy or under different terms. However, the exploration of all these faculties have been dealt in one or the other way depending on each other. So research in humanities can be accomplished through surprisingly diverse range of methods. There is no specific method. There is no single method that can be prescribed in humanities and social sciences. This can apply equally well to the study of languages, fine arts, it may be applied arts, or even religion. So religion is also one of the oldest branches of knowledge, and it is quite close to human being. Religion was also considered as one of the important parts to be explored in research in humanities. So most of these methods, research methods, fall into basically two categories. These categories are extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic means contextualist, and intrinsic means isolationist. So research in humanities is frequently misunderstood. Various interpreters have interpreted the research and its approaches as per their own convenience. So when we think of research, what immediately comes to mind for many of us is generally a laboratory setting with white coated scientists hunched over microscopes. This is usually considered as research. So research in science, research in technology falls under this category. But research in humanities and social sciences is totally different. So because research in humanities is often a rather solitary activity. It can be difficult for the youngsters, newcomers, to gain a sense of what research looks like within the scope of literature and humanities. Secondly, a common misconception about research is reinforced when we view it solely in terms of diverse or discovery of things previously unknown. Usually, it is believed that research should be something that has never been done earlier. It should be totally new, such as a new species or an archaeological artifact. So these are totally new rather than as a process that includes a reinterpretation or a rediscovery of known artifacts. So this is something, this is the area with which we as the scholars, teachers of humanity deal with. That is reinterpretation or rediscovery of known artifacts. The product is known to us, but we are going to rediscover the same product in a totally innovative manner, such as texts and other cultural products, from a critical or creative perspective to generate innovative art or new analysis. So fundamental to the concepts of research is precisely this creation of something new. So creation of something new is a term that is always considered at the core of a research method. And the researchers in humanities and social sciences are found always to be under the burden of creating something new. So this burden of creating something new many a times leads them to an unknown path. So in the humanities, this might consist of literary authorship. An author, when writes a text, a poem, for example, it is something that can be called as totally new product or a literary authorship, which creates new knowledge in terms of art or scholarly research, which adds new knowledge by examining texts and other cultural artifacts in the pursuit of particular lines of scholarly inquiry. So inquiry is at the core of every research. So it is believed that the very quality, the core quality of any researcher is curiosity, inquiry. So if your spirit of inquiry dies, your research will die. If your spirit of inquiry is always alert, then definitely you'll be able to inquire much deep into any research. So it is said that research is often narrowly construed as an activity. So research is an activity that will eventually result in a
चालू केलं तरी
tangible product aimed
नाही
at
असं याला आहे
solving
मोबाईल जरा
a world or
पण हे चला
social problem.
मी ह्याला मध्ये मध्ये ठेवू का
In humanities, may it be humanities, literature, or social sciences, the research should be oriented at solving various problems in the society. You can take example from literature. Literature research also tries to solve certain social problems in a different way. At the end of the research, in the concluding part of the research, the researcher gives certain suggestions, gives certain findings. Research is not something that when a candidate says, I have found these things and enumerate those things in a systematic manner, that is not enough. That is just an indication of the problem. So in research, indication of the problem, not just it is expected, but solution to the problems is also much desired. May it be literary research or research in humanities. So instead, research has many aims and outcomes, and it is a discipline-specific process. So according to different disciplines, research, the concept of research, the approach of research, and the methods related to research will keep differing. So in the 12 days program that you will be attending, and the resource persons you will be listening, they will be throwing light on different aspects of research. So you cannot say that one resource person who claims to be having knowledge of one thing and showing you a particular methods of research is only the truth. Different research scholars and different resource persons will be showing you different paths of research, and at the end of your program, you can develop your own method, your own approach towards your exploration of study of may it be literature, humanity, or any topic from social sciences. And why the research at interdisciplinary platform is going to be in much demand day by day is not just in India but at global level. Interdisciplinary research is being promoted. In India, especially with the introduction of national education policy, the definitions that we used to have earlier about various disciplines, various subjects, various domains of knowledge are being changed. Now, as per NEP, National Education Policy, the research in humanities, the teaching in humanities, social sciences and literature is going to be changed, going to be updated and upgraded. And that is why there is a reason for organizing such interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary programs like capacity building program for the young researchers. So in humanities, the product of research are predominantly intellectual and intangible, with the results of contributing to an academic discipline. Of course, we as researchers, we try to contribute in an academic discipline. For example, a research in sociology, a research on tribal belt in Thane district, or the tribal language or tribal folklore in Northeast India. Through the research on tribal literature, tribal folklore, we try to contribute as academicians in a particular discipline. So tribal folklore, for example, exists or it already exists in society. It is quite rich in its delivery, but being academicians, being the scholars of social science and humanities, and being well equipped with the methods of research, it is our responsibility to put those folklores in a systematic manner in an academic setup. So what will happen with this? When we'll study the tribal folklore and put them in form of a formal research, a research project, not just will be able to contribute in the existing folklore, but also will be able to take those folklores at global level. May it be that when you publish a book on tribal folklore in Northeast India, some research scholar from Africa, some research scholar in Native American literature may come across your book and may get benefit from reading your book, and it may be helpful in carrying various projects at global level. If you don't study, for example, such folklores, then this folklore will remain in isolation, and your contribution as scholar of this folklore will be to take the rich tradition of Northeast India at global level. So this is the real end or real aim or objective of research in humanities and social science. The field in humanities discipline generally include the visual and performing art, philosophy, literature, religion, history, language, art, history, and classics. So although research methods differ among humanities, in humanities, social sciences and sciences, there are different methods. Any research project in any discipline starts with curiosity and a hypothesis. Curiosity I have already talked about. Apart from curiosity, your curiosity should be childlike curiosity. A child is always curious to know the things and in an innocent approach. A research scholar should also have an innocence like a child. So if you have innocence like a child and if you develop your curiosity, then it will lead to desired goals. And it also starts with hypothesis. So when does hypothesis occur? Hypothesis occurs after a detailed study. When you make a primary spade work, then you get a confidence that your research topic will, the line of action of your research topic will be in such and such way. So often research topics are interdisciplinary, and these may include multiple subject areas and methods from more than just one discipline. Now, when we work in the research and recognition committee meetings, and The items on the agenda are approval of research topics. In whichever university you do your research, now gone are the days of studying single author for your literary research. For example, theme of marital discord in the novels of Shashi Deshpande, or East-West encounter, or feminist approach of Anita Desai's novels. Such topics are never encouraged in any research and recognition committee meeting of any university. Now, what is happening? Most of the universities are promoting different faculties, different subjects are being invited to do a collaborative research under one roof. For example, when dealing with a topic like eco-critical analysis of some writer, there may be supervisor and co-supervisor. The research come at an interdisciplinary platform, your research will flow in an entirely innovative direction. So when beginning a research projects in humanities, you must develop a deep knowledge base in the subject area. You have to choose original sources to examine, locate, and evaluate sources that also explore your areas of interest. So if the area that you have selected is of your interest, then you will develop more curiosity and invest more labor in your research. You can take an example of a day-to-day exercise. When you do physical exercise, for example, if you go for morning walk, if you go for cycling, if you have genuine interest in walk, if you have genuine interest in cycling, then you put extra efforts into it. If you are interested in swimming, for example, if you are really interested, then definitely you put extra efforts into it. Same case happens with research. If you are genuinely interested, then your interest in the area of your research will remain intact and then come to your own original conclusion. So while carrying your research, you have to take into consideration certain things like you have to use background sources to establish your knowledge base. Knowledge base can be established with the help of different background things. These could be, for instance, subject encyclopedias or key works in a field or bibliographies or anything that is of your interest. Then you have to select original sources, commonly referred to as primary sources for your analysis and exploration. So what are primary sources? Primary sources are simply original works. These may be original novels, stories, photographs, diaries, or letters, advertisements, or sometimes eyewitness accounts if it is from legal background. Then you have to find articles, reviews, books that analyze primary sources. And these are known as secondary sources. Not just secondary sources are important in writing of your research report, but also these are important while submitting proposal of your research. Most of the time, what we observe while evaluating a research proposal is that many students are not aware of what exactly is a review of literature. And as per my knowledge, one of the resource persons is going to deal with an important topic called review of literature. So review of literature, why review of literature is important? You select a topic and you say that this is the topic which nobody has analyzed or nobody has taken, and I am the one who is going to explore this topic in an innovative way. So this is your claim. Your claim is, my topic is the most innovative topic. It is okay. Your topic is most innovative topic, but you have to prove that your topic is totally innovative. So in order to do so, you need to read some literature related to your research. For example, if you are doing your research on nomadic tribes in Maharashtra, for instance, then you have to read some articles on nomadic tribes. You have to read some already done research in the similar area. You need to refer to some books, some interviews, some facts in the similar area, and take a very brief review of the already done research in the similar area. So this builds a very strong foundation for your further exploration. So you can say that I have referred many books, many articles, many newspaper articles, journals, periodicals, books, reviews, and after reading all this material, I have come to the conclusion that the way I am dealing with my own research topic, nobody has dealt with. So here you can claim your originality. And that is why a review of literature is important in order to prove your own originality and innovation. So then you have to synthesize all this information with your own thinking, draw your original conclusions, and thus you have to create new research in the field. So today I will be dealing with or talking with about mostly intrinsic approaches or contextualistic approach in humanities and social sciences. Extrinsic approach or approaches are largely historical or cultural in orientation. They may seek to examine the context, the background that produced a text of literature or artwork or idea or an author or an artist. Such approaches assume that there are causal connections between the nature of the work of art, that is, including its content and its form, or a linguistic or an ideological phenomenon, and the historical moment in which it occurred. However, it should be understood from the outset that no single such factor ever fully accounts for the complexity of a text or artwork or idea, which tends to be the product of many different causes. So the term historical in this context has to be taken into a very different orientation. Although the term historical would seem to suggest that such methods are applicable only to older works of art or texts or ideas, they are in fact equally useful in a discussion of contemporary works and ideas as well. For example, taking history in contemporary context. We in literature study new historicism, for example. So new historicism is an approach which takes history for its support, but it analyzes the contemporary ideology, the contemporary cultural artifacts in an innovative way. So these tools are important, but these tools have to be contextualized in a proper direction. They are then more properly described as extrinsic or contextualistic approach. So under this general rubric fall several more specialized methods. It may be a biographical approach, texts, artworks, and ideas are born of individuals. A book of literature, a poem, for example, may be born out of an individual creativity or an individual curiosity. A poet, for example, there are theories that as an author is dead, as an author has nothing to do with the text, but still an individual who you may call as author or writer becomes a reason in the production of a text. So thus many studies are specifically biographical or psychological in orientation, focusing directly upon the life and mind of the author or the artist, seeking connections between life experience and products of his or her mind. Also included under this rubric are called influence studies. So influence studies is also one of the emerging areas in research in humanities, which chart the impact of particular individual, work, idea, or movement of some kind upon another. So this influence may be when we as teachers of literature study influence, the area of influence, we usually study influence of one writer over another writer. However, it is not limited to the influence of one writer over other. It may be individual. It may be influence of a work, idea, or movement. Comparative studies also might likewise be made of two or more works by same author or artist. So comparative studies is not just limited to comparison of two writers, two texts, but it may be comparison of cultures, comparison of social phenomenon, and comparison of various branches of knowledge, ideas in humanities and social sciences. So comparative studies also has a very vast scope, not just in literature. In literature, the teachers of literature are studying comparative literature in a very different manner, but also the scholars or teachers of social sciences also can have a very different approach to comparative studies, and it might likewise be made between different authors or artists as a way of arriving at some conclusions about authors or artists' intellectual, personal, aesthetic preoccupations and development. Or it may be of works by different authors, artists working in the same medium or genre as a means of discovering uniqueness of particular person's body of work. So these modes of analysis presuppose substantial research into primary documents, which include letters, journals, diaries, or these may be first person accounts of contemporaries and so forth. So careful investigation of an author's or artist's stated intentions. This intention is very much essential. Intentions with regard to his or her work should be considered as interpretations are advanced. So works are likewise produced within institutional contexts. Thus, it can be productive to examine the social, economic, political conditions that surrounded as an author or artist in order to determine whether directly or indirectly they affected the artwork or more widespread movements of which specific works form only a part. For instance, we as scholars of literature study impact of patronage on creativity in Elizabethan period, for example. So in patronage, when we study patronage, we have to study the sponsorship given by the royal families of England, the political, social, cultural elements that surround that period. So we as teachers of literature study the political, historical, cultural background of a text. But if we make a collaborative research and if we involve the scholars of history, scholars of culture, scholars of political science in our research, then that research will be a rich product in a collaborative research. So maximum involvement of various disciplines should be there in research. So under this rubric, an event narrower focus can be achieved by using following various methods like gender, race, ethnicity, identity, and sexuality studies. So these are the emerging areas which are already being explored, and these focus upon literary and artistic representation of specific groups. These groups may be women, African American, Asians, Jews, and so on. So these kinds of studies examine the lives, attitudes, social conditions of such groups as either the background against which a work or an idea was conceived, or as phenomena reflected within a work or an idea, often but not exclusively in works produced by members of that group. For example, feminist critics seek to understand historical concept of the feminine and their impact upon the authors or artists' representation of or assumptions about women. Such studies often critique the masculine authoritarian tradition of misrepresenting or excluding the female. So this tradition, operative in both literary and art history, has been shown by feminist critics to be responsible for the suppression of end number of works by women writers, women creative writers. So thus, much feminist criticism has developed itself in recent years to locating and re-establishing the primary texts by women authors, artists, and securing them a place in the mainstream canon. The feminist scholarship in the field of religion has generated radical revisionistic readings of major theological texts, particularly of the Bible. So, religion cannot be inseparable in any research in humanity. Film criticism has likewise benefited from feminist interpretations, prompting fascinating explorations of the masculine gaze of the camera upon the variety of feminine stereotypes, real and imagined. So all versions of gender, race, ethnicity, identity, sexuality, all these studies share a common interest in the expression and interrogation of such depictions. Not just this, but their relationship to the prevailing power structure within the society. Then you have Marxist orientation of the culture, interpretation of culture. Then you have new historicism, cultural criticism, post-colonial approach to literature. Among the several institutional contexts, a technological and material-based approach would examine the impact of particular technological innovation upon scientific work, movement, medium, discipline, like inventions of color film or the ultra high speed lens upon photography or filmmaking, or of tempered glass upon contemporary architectural style, of acrylic paint upon traditional SL painting, or of digital technology on preserving glass-based negatives. So technology is inevitable in humanities also. So without technology, no research can be done. There is another approach or discipline in research, a history of ideas. History of ideas approach seeks to explain texts, artworks, and other intellectual developments in terms of larger context of ideas characteristic of an age. So these leading ideas can be either philosophical, scientific, or religious in origin. For instance, positivism, evolution, but these are nonetheless profoundly influential upon many other areas of knowledge. Some scholars describe the notion as the spirit of the age, which simultaneously permeates all intellectual disciplines. This method thus assumes a kinship of ideas among the several art, philosophy, religion, the sciences, the various other creations of human minds that comprise culture in a given age. So under the broad umbrella of culture, we are going to include variety of disciplines. And when these disciplines come together, then a proper dialogue, a proper interaction, a proper orientation of different disciplines may take place. So different scholars have often traced the metamorphosis of a single idea to several ages and its appearance in various media. For example, the concept of the great chain of being, the idea of skepticism, the idea of psychological principle of association of ideas, or the idea of Neoplatonic concept of beauty. These may be included in this. So under the same rubric, we may place studies of test of an age as well as a test of movement, of which according to intellectual history, individual writers or artists formed a part. For example, neoclassicism, romanticism, or Russian constructivism. A related approach concerns itself with the analysis of myth, archetypes, folklore, and other patterns of visual and verbal imagery. So today there is a great need to explore myth, archetype, and folklore in a new orientation with the use of science and technology and with the use of various research methods that are being developed exclusively for myth, archetypes, and folklore. So these occur as leitmotifs within individual works or groups of works. So myth may occur within the work, or myth may be itself a work. So intrinsic treatments of this subject often focus upon the historical origins of such stories or emblems, their reappearance in various ages and media, their evolution from one kind of representation to another, and the social, political, psychological causes that promote and prompt their re-emergence. For example, the creation story, the Camelot, the Madonna, the Fisher King, the vampire, all these things would enrich the research in this area. Furthermore, charting the development of specific genre, medium, or category of object art, the sonnet, the Victorian moral art, the Greek amphora, and its attendant conventions or characteristics can prove a fruitful approach, particularly when analyzing a work according to horizon of expectations that the genre sets for reader. So reader and viewer, and the degree to which that work gratifies or thwarts those expectations. This has to be taken into serious consideration. Then you have hermeneutical approach to literature and cultural art. Then reception theory is there, which focuses specifically upon reader's role in actually helping to create the meaning of a text. It is not just related to a text of literature, but it may be related to a cultural practice, a festival, it may be related to a ritual, how a ritual, cultural product may be viewed from reception point of view. So the psychodynamics of the act of reading itself. So here reading should not be taken reading of printed pages. So when we observe a cultural phenomenon, or when we observe a ritual, that observation itself is a kind of reading. And that is why we say that psychodynamics of the art of reading is explored, the means by which the reader actualizes or concretizes the literary or cultural product. So similar studies occur in visual art in variety of ways. So while these methods might seem to imply an anarchical anything goes mode of interpretation, in reality both presupposes a substantial knowledge of history, psychology, and various conventions of artistic forms. We should be aware, or rather beware, of the things that it should not be anything can be done by anybody. One should possess a proper knowledge of variety of subjects, variety of areas, and the various conventions of artistic forms which serve as shortlisted codes or signals utilized by the author, artist in the creation of work, and which, if recognized, enable the reader or viewer to arrive at reasonable interpretations. So with the note of interpretation, let me come towards the end of my address in today's session. So friends, interpretation in today's research in humanities or social sciences has become utmost important. So it may be an interpretation of a text of literature, it may be an interpretation of a social phenomenon, it may be an interpretation of a political activity, it may be interpretation of an event that happens around you. So the teachers of literature or scholars of literature have been trained in a specific way to interpret the product before them in a creative manner. So, while organizing such event at an interdisciplinary platform, I am sure that many of the resource persons would be from literature, the background of literature. Some resource persons may be from the background of social sciences, and the delivery of different resource persons for the scholars who come from variety of branches of knowledge would be an intellectual feast for the next 12 days. I am sure that the global trends that are being changed in humanities and social sciences would be discussed in different sessions, and all the participants at the end of this course would take some innovative ideas, and they would not just take these innovative ideas, but they will actually imply the ideas in their own research. So Rajarshi Shahu Mahavidyalaya would be a torch bearer in the next few years, in the sense that the 12-day event would show the participants a direction in which advanced research should go and carry a productive outcome of their research, which would have a social and cultural relevance. So with this, I end my address, and I thank Dr. Davne for introducing me and the organizers for giving me an opportunity to talk with
दवणे
the
सरचा व्हिडिओ
wide.
कसली वाटत अंकुश म्यूट कर
Over to you, Dr.
Sir,
Davne.
thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, thank you very much, sir. Sir, we will take question answer session. I request all the participants, if you have questions regarding research methodology, then you can ask question. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Unmute your mic and ask the question.
Yes, madam. Madam, good evening, madam. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is well organized.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Yes, madam. Now, okay, madam.
Yes.
Okay, madam. Myself are Saman Naik, MA, Madam Phil, Acharya Nagarjuna University, Guntur, madam, Andhra Pradesh. Sir, the literature people, the research methodology, the which kind of books will be needs, research methods. I search in libraries, so many libraries, but especially for the English literature point of view, research methodology book is not available. Some kind of books to give, sir. I will write to explain. I write you, sir. Further for development, sir.
Yeah. Dr. Naik, if you go through the sections of literature, you will find hundreds of books on research methodology in language and literature.
Yes, sir. If any famous authors, famous.
No, there are so many writers, not a specific writer, but you will find so many. If you just go through the section of literature in any university library, even a college library, there are a number of books on research in language and literature.
Yes, sir. Sir, the review of literature, all say, I confused, sir. Once explain it, sir. Once review of literature, the methods of research. I confused, sir. So when I write research paper, I confused, sir. So many.
Yes. So to speak very plainly about review of literature, it is nothing but whatever you have read, whatever you have observed in the similar area. For example, may I know on which area you are doing your research, Dr. Naik?
Indian English literature, sir.
You are studying Indian English literature. So what is your topic of research? Indian English literature is a very broad area, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you selected any specific area?
Yes, sir. The study of oral literature, sir.
Study of oral literature, right? So if you are studying oral literature in Andhra Pradesh, for example,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What are you expected to do before actually studying the oral literature in the region of Andhra Pradesh? You have to read some primary books, some basic books on oral narratives, oral literature. So these may be from Western countries, Western authors, Indian authors, or someone might have done research on oral literature in Northeast India. Someone would have done research on oral literature from Kashmir. So whatever is available with you, you are supposed to read those books. These may be books or journals, articles from journals or newspaper cuttings. And after reading this, you have to briefly write a review. That is, comment on those. And why this is essential? Because you are going to prove, or you are going to build a strong foundation for your research. So once you read books on Northeast oral literature or Kashmir oral literature, you feel a sense of confidence.
Yes.
And this confidence will be reflected in your research. You will be exposed to the different techniques, different ways of approaching to oral narratives or oral literature in different cultures. And you may use those techniques, those approaches in your own study of oral narratives or literature in Andhra Pradesh. So this is the way review of literature helps. But many a times what we observe in research proposals or even in your thesis, most of the research scholars ignore this part as something that is unessential or less important. But review of literature is the most important part of any thesis, especially in humanities and social sciences.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, Dr. Naik?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, can you listen me?
Yes.
Sir, can
Yes. Shashikant Patil, please ask your question.
Shashikant Patil, sir.
Yes.
Myself, Shashikant Patil, assistant professor from Kisan College, Parola, district Jalgaon, state Maharashtra. Sir, how many references we should take from one reference book or one's magazines? Please clear an idea. How many references should we take from one reference book? Is there limitation?
There is no limitation to your taking of reference. You can take n number of references, but these references should be as per the context, as per the need of your argument. Every thesis is a kind of argument. You have a research question, right? First, you raise a research question to yourself, and in order to solve those research questions, your entire thesis is being built. So, in order to prove your research question, the entire course of action of your research project goes on, and in order to build your argument, there is no limitation to your referencing. But sometimes it happens that a student reads one book and copies the list of reference in the same book. That is unethical. List of reference is that which you have directly or indirectly referred to. It's not just listing the number of books in the similar area. List of reference means the books you have actually referred to. It may be you have taken a quotation from the book. It may be you have read just one paragraph or one case studies from a book. But that has to be referred. You should have referred a book that you are going to list in the bibliography of your thesis. I hope I met your question.
Yes.
Good evening,
I
sir.
think
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Sumitra from Madurai, Tamil Nadu. Thank you so much for sharing so many valuable information, sir. I have a small doubt. Here there is in MLA research methodology, there are so many publications. But what the thing is, when my colleague's word is presenting when he was arguing his paper during his Viva OC, the external examiner asked that why have you followed the 7th edition? Why don't you follow the latest edition? Is there any adhere to that? Should we have to stick on with any rules of edition, or can we follow with the old one? Because this will be very useful for our wards. Because our wards are getting confused that we are very good in the old edition, but all the editions are most similar. But regarding the 9th edition, so many things have been added. So is there any strict rules to be followed in the latest edition, or we can follow the old edition, sir? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sumitra. So let me make the thing very clear that every university has its own guidelines regarding the drafting of thesis. So you can refer to the guidelines published by your own universities and do accordingly. This is my suggestion to you. However, when you talk about specific methodology or a specific style of writing the thesis, as far as my knowledge goes, all methodologies are directed towards giving proper shape, proper size, proper documentation to the thesis. You either refer to 7th edition of MLA handbook or you refer to the 9th handbook. What is expected is the consistency of that methodology throughout your thesis. If you are using the citations right from the beginning with the help of 7th edition, then it should be consistent throughout the thesis. Of course, human being has to update himself or herself. So we are updating ourselves in different fields. So if you are referring to MLA handbook, then definitely you are expected to refer to the latest edition. So when you wear clothes which are latest. You like latest fashion. You like everything which should be latest. If you want to make interior for your home, you want latest. In the similar way, whichever method you use, it should be latest. This is the common rule. However, if you refer either MLA edition or APA or Chicago, whichever methodology you use, it should be followed consistently throughout the thesis. You should not mix MLA with APA. You should not mix APA with Chicago. Whichever you use, it has to be logical. It should build a strong shape, strong citation, strong references to your thesis. This is what I can say. But after saying this, I would recommend or advise you to refer to your own university guidelines. Whatever guidelines have been given by your own university, you have to follow it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. But we belong to Madurai Kamaraj University. But here they have not mentioned their specification of any research edition of MLA research methodology. I think so. But definitely, I will ask the concerned person, sir.
Then you can use the formula that I have told you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It should be consistent enough.
So is there anyone? Hello, participants.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. So, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, Ashwin Kumar, you are audible.
Sir, I'm Ashwin from Tamil Nadu. I'm doing my PhD in research of historical background. My area is on sanitation technology. My question is regarding the review of literature. The area of research, what I'm doing is not particularly done earlier. They have done on different cities, and my review of literature, to make it very strong, the areas I have taken is from international studies and then from Indian background. But there are different opinions where my one supervisor says one thing and another co-supervisor says another thing. What he says is, one is, if you are going to do a research on this topic, you have to stick on to the area. You have to make, if you are going to do on Madras city, the research should be on Madras city, which is correlated to your topic. And if I am saying of Hong Kong, how the sanitation technology has been developed in the historical colonial period, and it has been rejected here not to do that. And my how to make my review of literature very strong. From your perspective, I want to know. Since I am from historical background, I have this doubt.
So let me frankly tell that I am not an expert in the area which you are going to explore. But broadly, what I can say is, if you are doing your research in sanitization of technology in Chennai, and when we say similar area, then you may take the example of Delhi, for example, or Hong Kong, for example, and the similar approach or similar works done in the same area in another cities, and carry the review of literature. As far as number of people you will be consulting, every person or every expert will be giving you different approach or different opinion. However, since you are the only person who has an in-depth knowledge about what and how you are going to do, you have to use your own conscience and decide the line of action of your research. This is what I can say.
Thank you.
I am Dr. Raj Mohan. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes,
I am
yes.
Dr. Raj Mohan, working in Government Arts and Science College, Peravarani, Tamil Nadu, state of Tamil Nadu, sir.
Yes, of course.
Sir, nowadays many colleges, many UGC, HRDCs are conducting refresher courses on advanced research methodology. Is there any vast difference between advanced research methodology and research methodology, sir?
What do you think?
I think there is no difference between these kind of. As far as I am concerned, they are just adding the word. They are affixing advanced before research methodology.
So
but I didn't find anything.
Whether you call it as research methodology or whether you call it as advanced research methodology, it is same. It is advanced research. Had the time of today's event would be just research methodology, but still all the resource persons would have discussed advanced one, because we human beings are inclined towards advanced thing, advancement of knowledge, advancement of whatever we do. So there is no difference in just research.
That is the reason why they are putting an adjective, advanced research methodology.
Whether still it's a way of terminologies where you can indicate some intention behind conducting such event. And the effort is to carry the new knowledge, new explorations in this area. So it indicates an intention of the organizers. When they call it as an advanced methodology, they just mean that they are trying to excel in the area that they are catering to the audience.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is there any question?
Guide you regarding UGC listed journals or Scopus index journals. There may be another resource persons who will guide you regarding this, and this is not a very short question to be attempted or responded. You can go on the UGC site where you can find a lot of journals which are Scopus index, UGC listed. That is what I can say.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Dr. Davne.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The last program of this capacity building program. Now all questions over, and here vote of thanks is remain only. and I'm going to propose a vote of thanks. So I'm very thankful. I'm very much thankful to our principal, Dr. Mahavidyalaya sir, who has given us permission to take capacity building program on the important topic like advanced research methodology. I'm also thankful to our vice principal, Dr. Sadashiv Shinde sir, IKSC coordinator, Dr. Abhijit Yadav sir, our very loving and caring HOD, ma'am, Dr. Anuja Zadhav, and my colleague, Dr. Sachin Bhandare, Dr. Kare, Dr. Deshmukh, uh, uh, Professor Guru ma'am, Thorat sir, and all my colleagues who has given, who have helped to make this program successful. And the most important thing is that I'm very much thankful to our today's inaugurator as well as keynote addresser, Dr. Sudhir Nikam sir, who has given a very good information about advanced research methodology. Sir, I'm very much thankful to you once again. Thank you very much from on the behalf of college also. Thank you, sir. Sir, you can leave now, but
Thank you,
I
sir.
have to give some instructions to the participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you very much, sir.
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Some instructions are there, participants. Please don't leave anyone. All the participants, there are some announcements for you. Important announcements. Down it.
Yes, ma'am. Dear participants, I would like to tell you that now this is the program of 12 days. So you have to attain 12 days program regularly. And if you are missed any day, then you will not get certificate. If you want to take leave, so before that one, you have to inform the organizer. So if they will give permission, then you can be absent for the day. The second important thing is that now you have to give daily feedback of the program. So after 5 to 10 minutes, you will get feedback and you have to fill that feedback daily only. This is the second important instruction. And you have to fill the question answer means quiz. Whatever the quiz you will get, you have to fill, you have to answer that quiz on that day only. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, it will not be entertained. So these 3-4 instructions are there. So you have to pay attention on it. So be regular, be punctual, and also whatever the feedbacks are there, that feel on that day only.
Good evening once again to all the participants. We are very happy to have you for this program. But these instructions are you have to take seriously. Without the assignment submissions and feedback submission, and without your regular presenting, you are not going to get the certificate. One thing, and the second one thing is that this particular program will be helpful for your CAS proposal also, because it is a 12 days program and it is sponsored by ICSSR. So please, everyone is requested to take this note seriously. Thank you one and all, and we will meet
Ma'am, Madam, excuse me. Excuse me, ma'am. I have a small Yeah, I have a small doubt, ma'am. That is regarding the feedback form. The form will be posted in either in WhatsApp or in our Gmail ID, ma'am.
You can send it through WhatsApp also, if possible, or if it is convenient for you, either to Gmail
No,
also.
no, madam. What I'm asking is there any feedback form which should be provided by you in the Google form, in the Google form?
Yeah, it is given. Link is given. Link is already given, ma'am.
In the WhatsApp group or in the WhatsApp group, ma'am?
Yes.
WhatsApp.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other doubt from any other participants?
No doubt, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
If there is no problem, no doubt, then you can leave now. But tomorrow
Madam.
at sharp 3 o'clock, you will be.
Today we will share the daily schedule also with you. We will share the daily schedule also. The name of the resource person, the name of the topic, we will share with you.
Yes, ma'am. And quiz, maybe I have missed or what, I'm unable to get it.
No, today there is no quiz because it's an inaugural program, keynote address. So today you do not have the quiz. From tomorrow you will get it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, participants.
Thank you, everyone.